Hey everybody, welcome back into the Burn podcast. I'm here with my good friend Brian Burchick from the City of Lilburn. I am Jonathan Hilliard from Connects Media right here in Old Town Lilburn. And Brian, welcome back into the studio for another episode.
That's right. Great to be with you guys for another episode of The Burn. And I guess this is kind of our third episode because we had our first, and then our second was a little different. It was the Town Hall edition with Mayor Dunn.
Our distinguished guest.
Yes. So, and here we are for our third episode, and excited to be here.
Well, I know folks enjoyed hearing from Mayor Dunn. The analytics have been great on his catch up with the Lilburnites or the Lilburners. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But can we expect to hear more from Mayor Dunn here in the near future?
Yes. So historically we've done mayor kind of town hall meetings every few months, and of course before COVID it was in person, and we certainly intend to get back to that at some point. But for now, the mayor just feels like it's best to do it via video, and so I'm sure we will have another town hall edition of The Burn with Mayor Dunn sometime soon, so be on the lookout.
Well, I know people enjoyed some great information from the mayor in that edition of The Burn. I'm wondering where we can direct folks to get more of that information so they can keep up with what's going on in the city. Where would you direct them? The website, social? Where would you point folks for that information?
Yeah, so we'll talk about a couple things because, there's a lot of great ways to stay connected. First of all, just cityoflilburn.com, and I would actually recommend you can sign up for getting direct text or emails on lots of different things happening in the city. So if that's interesting to you, if you go to cityoflilburn.com, go to the Let Us Help You banner and hit the Notify Me button, and that will take you to a list of different sort of listservs that you can sign up for. Just put your email in there, check what you want. I'd recommend public meetings listserv. That gets you all the minutes and agendas for the council meetings, the DDA meetings, planning commission, all that stuff. Also, there's a Lilburn events, there's an e-news, there's a city updates, really whatever you want. There's a bunch of listservs you could sign up for, but then you're just getting it right to your phone or to your inbox.
Gotcha. And I know, those of us especially that work and live down here love Old Town, and I've heard some rumors that there may be a new Old Town website that's talking about all the great things going on down here. What's going on there?
Yeah, we're excited about this. Our Downtown Development Authority, the Lilburn DDA, has funded the construction of a new Old Town Lilburn website, really for the purposes of serving the community and really kind of promoting our downtown, promoting Old Town, the businesses, the events, all the fun stuff that's happening here. A city website has to have so much on it because you're serving businesses and you're thinking about permits and all of these different things. Yeah. So this website would be much more simple and accessible for residents and potentially others who are looking to come into have a great time in Old Town. Yeah. So that's being built and will be live this spring. So. And the URL for that, and actually it'd be great for you to check it out because there's a landing page now. It's oldtownlilburnga.com. So go there. You can put your email in there to get on the list to be notified more about that, and we're excited.
No, that's really exciting, and I know folks will enjoy that separate website for Old Town so they can go and find out all the great places to shop, to eat, things to do down here. Really looking forward to that. But that's not the only thing that's happening online these days. I've seen some different pieces of content kind of trickling out from the city. Tell us what's going on in that regard. Yeah,
so we are making a lot more videos these days, and I think in a lot of ways maybe the pandemic kind of challenged us to think more about video. Obviously, it's a great way that people are wanting to digest information and get stuff. So we are. And if you go to the City of Lilburn's YouTube page, there's actually a button for it at that landing page I mentioned, oldtownlilburnga.com. But anyway, if you just go to YouTube, type in City of Lilburn, we have a channel, and you'll see there's different categories of videos. So we're now putting out monthly videos, including The Burn. We also are doing a monthly Love in Old Town series where we're kind of highlighting different things happening in Old Town. And then we have event highlights. So, we've got things highlighting, the Cornhole League, or we did Bucket Brigade Day, things like that. So, definitely check out the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and would love for you to follow those, as well as, we've got the Old Town Lilburn Instagram and Facebook that are great things to follow as well.
No, I think the content series people are really going to enjoy on YouTube, but also little micro pieces of that on Instagram, like you said, and just starting to see those great spring visuals from Old Town and the park and our outdoor restaurants. People will be really excited about, I know. So also get your families down here, and maybe you'll make a cameo in one of these videos that we're producing. So love to see everybody out here at the park in the near future. I know the last couple of weeks have been awesome for folks. Enjoying the weather and like we say, Chamber of Commerce Day.
That's right. Oh man,
Old Town Lilburn.
It felt great.
So, for those of you that are enjoying The Burn, this podcast, it's not just on YouTube. If you are commuting around Atlanta and want to listen in your car, you can do that as well, right?
Yeah. It is on all those kind of podcast channels, right? So iTunes, Spotify, other ones that I guess some people listen to. I've never really dived into all of them, but it's there. So if you want to subscribe to The Burn on iTunes or Spotify or any of those things, do it because it's fun to listen sometimes in the car.
Yeah, we're legit, man.
Yeah, totally. Lilburn is hip, man.
And
Lilburn is hip. Yes.
Yeah. So we talked about in our first episode how we love, breaking down the history of Lilburn and little tidbits that maybe you didn't know about Lilburn. We talked about the Bucket Brigade last time, but do you have a history nugget to share?
We do have another history nugget. This will be a consistent part of The Burn, and this comes, probably most of these history nuggets are going to come from the same source, which is one of our local residents and business owners, Hugh. Hugh is at Antiques in Old Town. Hugh Wilkerson, he and his wife Roanne live above in a loft style setup above.
It was cool.
They're the trendsetters.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right.
But anyway, he really is kind of the unofficial historian. He's got a real interest in history and Lilburn history specifically, has deep roots here. So anyway, this is coming from Hugh. And, we had 2020 was quite the year, as we know. Some might even say it was a train wreck of a year. And just to make that official, Lilburn had a train wreck, right? We had the derailment of 2020, 37 train cars derailed right here in Old Town. Thankfully nobody was hurt. And there's actually a real heroic story in there because one of our very own Lilburn police officers, Officer Ed Jonovich, was off duty, but heard the call come in about this and was able to go and really kind of rescue the two conductors. Went right into the danger, right? There was fire, there was, of course, gas and everything. And so it's a pretty amazing story. And our police, they are heroes, man. We've got so many incredible stories.
Without a doubt.
So that derailment of 2020 was the second train wreck in Old Town Lilburn. Do you know when the first one was?
I do not, Brian. I'm looking forward to finding out.
Okay. The first train wreck that we know of was 1911. So that's just 1 year after 1910 when the city was officially incorporated, right? So that's why it's 1910 Public House, the restaurant, because Lilburn was incorporated in 1910. So just 1 year after that, they also had a train wreck. And so I guess every 110 years or something, it happens.
You can put it, you can bank on it.
Yeah. So, you think about it, those early 1900s were kind of crazy here in Old Town. And then the 2020s are a little crazy.
It's history repeats itself, as they say. I'm glad you mentioned Sergeant AJ, there, and you guys probably have seen him around the park or around town with Ajax, his canine companion. So make sure and say hey to Sergeant AJ if you see him. Great representation. I think he was the Lilburn PD Employee of the Year. So congrats to Sergeant AJ. But awesome, great history tidbit there.
Yes.
But I'm wondering, the train wreck of 2020, the train wreck of 1911. Do we imagine any possible maybe commemorating of the derailment of 2020?
Well, you know me, that I love to kind of draw out the unique stories and history. But I think we should bring this to the people, right? And so we're going to do a poll. And in the first episode of The Burn, we asked, what should Lilburn residents be called? And we haven't done that poll, but we're going to do it on Facebook. Is it Lilburnites? Is it Lilburners or the Burners, something like that? Is it something like a third option? And so this is the second poll question I have, which is, should we in some way commemorate the train wreck that we had October 11th of 2020? Should that be some sort of annual commemoration, not necessarily of a train wreck, but of that shared history that we all went through.
Sure.
And of course, the heroic efforts of AJ. I don't know. I'm curious what people think. I'm not saying it has to be some huge event, but maybe we all just like get out of bed and just wear our PJs to work or something. It's just a train wreck day. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we just close down the road and make it super difficult for everybody to get from one side of Lilburn to the other for a week every year.
People would love that. Bring in like 40 porta potties. Like, oh yeah.
Oh man, listen, we made it through.
We
like
did.
Everything else in 2020, we made it through.
Stronger together, man.
But we're throwing that out to you guys. Should we do something to commemorate the derailment of 2020, the heroic work of not just Lilburn PD, but we have to give props to CSX for the job they did to come in and so quickly assess the situation, clean everything up. And, if you walk the Greenway today, it's like nothing ever happened, which is pretty amazing considering the scope of everything that happened on that fateful night in October. So, Brian, we're getting close to the closing of the burn today, but any other quick updates that you want to share with folks that's about what's coming on in Lilburn?
Yeah, we'll give some updates. And again, I feel like I always got to say, I can't cover everything, but just some notable things. People have probably noticed the new Old Town Lilburn signs. We got 5 new kind of gateway signs into Old Town. 2 of those are in the roundabouts, and those have been lit. And so if at night, if you've gone through and you've seen those, the other 3 are currently being, kind of hooked up with the electrical to be able to be lit like that. And then the DDA, Downtown Development Authority, has also funded landscaping. So if you've looked at a few and thought, man, that looks great, but just kind of needs some landscaping, well, that's coming. We've also got something I'm kind of excited about. The DDA has also funded street tree lights. So you come over those railroad tracks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Into Old Town, and you've got street trees on both sides of Main Street up to Railroad Avenue, and then you've got some street trees in front of the shops, in Old Town. Those will be the trunks of those will be wrapped with nice, classy lights that are just another marker of the downtown, and kind of so you've arrived. You come over those tracks, and you're somewhere special.
Yeah, and my kids love coming through Old Town at night and seeing the public house hanging cafe lights and the lights under Antiques at Old Town. So that'll fit right in with everything, and we'll just add to the beauty of this place for sure.
Yes. Well, and another thing that's kind of cool is the DDA owns a property, 57 Railroad Avenue. This was the former site of Builder Steel Supply Company. But they currently have a request for proposals that is out. The deadline is April 1st, and they are requesting a brewery concept to come into Old Town in that space. They purchased that property for a number of reasons. It's an opportunity to also create more downtown parking, which you always need more of. People are going to not be inclined to come if there's not some convenient parking for them.
Sure.
So, but anyway, we're excited about that. The RFP, request for proposals process, is just sort of a hearing from anyone and everyone who might be interested, and you collect kind of their vision, but also some really, concrete data of what they can do and how they'd like to do it. So it's just the first step in a process of ultimately working with a selected candidate to try to make something work out. So early in that process, but it's cool because I think a brewery has almost become, in many ways, like a coffee shop, right? It's that third space where people want to hang out, connect. And so much of that industry is about the tasting rooms where people are hanging out.
Yeah, gathering spot.
Yes.
For folks to get together, have like special events, birthdays, whatever it is, just celebrate. Come and celebrate together, which I know we're all itching to do.
Absolutely.
Here in 2021. And for those of you who don't know, Builder Steel Supply, if you're not familiar, if you're coming from the library down through Old Town on Main Street, when you hit the 4-way stop, if you turn right onto Railroad Avenue, big green buildings on the right. So huge piece of real estate. And I know that was a major strategic thing for the DDA to get control of that, and hopefully these RFPs will lead to something really, really great in the future.
Absolutely. And just the other thing I'll say is we do have some events coming up, and so you know, depending on when you listen or watch, this may or may not have already happened, but with the Libercom Parade, that'll be our second time doing that, and we're excited about that. That takes place at the park, Lilburn City Park, and pretty simple event. You know, you wear green, you have fun, you dress up. We do a little parade march around the track, and but we give out prizes for the best dressed Libercons, best dressed pet, best dressed ride, all that fun stuff. So that's going to be March 13th. And then also we have the business owners are beginning to plan the second Lil Crawl. So the Old Town Lil Crawl, which again, we did that in 2019. And that's where people travel and walk from amongst 3 different places. They go to Hope Springs Distillery, they go to the bus, Agavero, Parkside, and 1910. And then end the evening at Scott McCready Music on Main Street with owner Scott and Alicia McCready. And it's always their opening show. So it's April 24th. You'll be hearing more about that. The business owners are putting that together. But that was super fun in 2019.
Great time.
And excited to do that. And, you know, with both of those events, social distancing is considered. Mask wearing is highly encouraged. And because they're in such large open spaces, we feel like we've got a good plan to be able to be safe and still have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and it's a great opportunity to, you know, bring, you know, not crazy large groups, but get together with a couple of family friends and be able to be socially distanced, walk from one spot to another in Old Town, get to know those business owners. I know that's going to be a huge event for them just to kind of be able to interact with some folks that maybe they haven't got to see in, you know, 16, 17 months at this point, you know, since, you know, the last time we kind of did this. So they'll enjoy that, I'm sure. But yeah. Anything else? Any parting shots for the audience here before we get out of here?
Well, you know, I always remind people, Lilburn is hip, and more every day. You know what? We just got a compliment. Somebody was in, kind of someone who was not familiar was in here, and he's like, "Man, this could be like a little Austin, Texas." So I took that as a compliment.
Yeah, I know Scott McCready said he got goosebumps.
Oh,
from
well,
Music on Main,
he
said he had
did.
goosebumps when he heard that comment.
So,
but, well, hey, it's a process, and
that's right.
Lilburn is hip. Lilburn is going big places, but it's great now. So you guys come on down and enjoy what hopefully will be a nice long spring before the sweltering summer heat settles in here in Lilburn. So thanks again for joining us on this episode of The Burn, and we'll see you next time.